Welcome, welcome. Brian, where you been? I've been gone for a couple of weeks, but I'm back. I've decided to move my family to the Denver, Colorado area, and so I've been just busy packing things up, moving across the country, unpacking. As you see, I am in a blank canvas of a room, and yet it will be decorated soon enough. And so if it's a little echoey, it's only going to get better from here, but I got to jump on. We got to talk about a couple of different things, and I really got to start by talking about one specific topic that I've been thinking about probably more than anything else over the last couple of weeks. And it's really the biggest mistake that investors make. It's literally rule number one about why people lose money. And it has to do with these two words: time horizon. And really what I'm going to talk about is how investors blow it because they have an idea of they should be getting into an asset at a certain time, and then when are they supposed to get out of it? So here's the perfect example, because this is the scenario I hear all the time. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, or wherever I'm at, right? And you see something that says, you got to buy this now, right? Buy this asset, buy Bitcoin now, or now's the time to buy this stock, or whatever it is. The thing is, if you don't know that investor's time horizon, then really that information cannot be valuable. See, I happen to participate in a lot of different trading communities and groups where people are actively trading throughout the day. And in the exact same day, from the exact same person, you could hear, buy this thing, holy cow, what a deal. And you guys, we got to sell at a loss on this same asset. How can these things go together? Well, the time horizon is they have a very short time horizon, meaning that when they said deal of a lifetime, they might have been in that asset for minutes, seconds, probably minutes, but maybe a couple hours, right? Not long for a day trader. And so they have a very short time horizon, whereas a long time horizon would be, hey, buy Bitcoin. Why should I buy now? Well, if you buy it now, we're still in this range, and it's going to eventually go up to this range, right? And so when someone tells you you've got to buy now, now's the time to buy, what is the interval of time? What is the time horizon they're speaking from? Because that's going to tell you everything. The reason so many people make this mistake is because they will get financial advice, even though we're not really giving financial advice. They will take it as financial advice and they'll say, oh, somebody's told me now's the time. This guy knows a lot. This guy has a lot of money invested in crypto and he's clearly smarter than I am, and he's saying buy it. I better not do any of my homework and I better just go for it and buy it. The thing is, that same guy might only be in that thing for a little bit of time. For example, we had an Ethereum trade in a Facebook group that we run. And I said, hey, we're about to reverse on Ethereum. And when we turn around, we're going to come back past 1800. And once we pass 1800, that's really where we want to be getting in. And then we'll ride it up. Now, the thing is, am I going to stay in this for a long period of time? Is I going to stay this in a short period of time? Well, the cool part is it's been about a month. We're up 60, 70 something percent. I can't remember the exact number. But obviously, it's done well, right? The difference is someone might actually say, oh, I bought in around 1850 or whatever, 1800, 1900, when Brian was talking about this reversal. And now Ethereum maybe have gone up and maybe it's come down, right? And so they're thinking, well, now Ethereum's down. Why would Brian tell me to buy that? Well, because I had a very short time horizon. I was going to sell it in 30 days. I was going to sell it in 45, 60 days, whatever it ends up being. So this is all very common sense stuff, but it's one of those things, if you don't point it out, people don't think about it. And so when next time you hear somebody say, hey, you should buy this crypto, you should buy this, you should invest in this because of these gains, right? Gains is the sexy thing that draws you in. It's like the drug. You get hooked on yield, you get hooked on the return on investment and how many X you can get, 30X, 50X, 100X, 10,000X, whatever it is. Don't get drunk on that. Crypto, look, there's plenty of opportunity to get incredible life-changing returns. You really want to do it in a way to where it matches your time horizon. Otherwise, you're going to be getting into something that's going to be short-lived and you don't know to sell it yet. And so a great example of this is obviously a lot of these smaller coins that we call hype coins, meaning that they really don't have much to offer, but they're pushed very heavily on social media. They're pushed very heavily in different groups, and they're kind of shilled, right? They're kind of promoted for the sole reason of somebody bought in really, really early. This is like how pump and dumps actually happen. And they'll raise the price up, and then they won't be told when to sell. They'll just say, one day it's going to be this thing. Well, when is one day? Are we talking about literally in one day? Are we talking about in 1 month, in 1 year, at the end of this cycle? Is this a 10-year project I should be investing in extremely long term? If you don't give me context about how long we should be into this, I can't really know when to take my profits. And guess what? If you don't take profits, you technically haven't made any money yet. So just because you're up, unless you sell it, you've not made any money. And so you got to know when to sell. And so all that to say, circle back, you've got to understand time horizon. And this is something that's important to you. What is your goal? What is your objective? Are you someone who's trying to build your wealth? You're a longer term investor. You're saying, look, I want to be able to get into this. I want to accumulate where I can. I want to be able to participate to the best of my ability, make high returns, but I don't want to have to do stuff. I don't want to have to look at charts. I don't want to have to do a ton of research. I want to pick a couple of projects that are going to do really well over the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever your thing is. Great. That's a longer time horizon. Stick to that. Don't take trading advice whimsically from somebody on Facebook or whatever else who's just saying, hey, you can get 10x return, 100x return. In what time frame? Because there are some really incredible projects in crypto that, yeah, they will. They'll yield unbelievable returns over 10 years. But just like the internet boom, guys, there's this many companies and only a handful of them are going to really work out in each one of their sectors, right? Or in their own little bucket. And so it's impossible to pick a winner. It's impossible to pick the one that's definitely going to win because you don't really know. There's no way to really understand what market adoption is actually going to happen. And so you've got to pick ones that you believe in, and you got to adjust that investment to your time horizon at all. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of value today. Hopefully it will help you kind of better, I always say vet a lot of the advice that you get or the things you see. Just because somebody's made a lot of money, you don't really know their circumstance, right? I always use the example of when someone's made, say, $10 million in crypto. They're wealthy, but they also have a lot of clout, right? They use that to their advantage. Hey, I've made 10 million in crypto, so I clearly know what I'm doing. When really it's like, you probably just bought in when everything was cheaper. That makes you smart for sure, but that doesn't make you a crypto expert. Let's set that conversation aside for a second. When they've got $10 million and then they find this new project they want to shill or they want to promote and they have they're a big fan of, whether it's a legit project or not, doesn't matter. I'm seeing a lot right now, and we'll see it for the rest of the year, of like, guys, this is the next big thing. I put $100,000 into this. Well, you don't realize, you're not connecting the dots that this person had $10 million. So $100,000 into a $10 million account is not that big of a deal. But the average person who sees that, not taking into account the time horizon here, is saying, oh my gosh, this guy's rich. He just put 100 grand into it. It must be going to the moon, going to Mars. I better go all in on this thing. Not realizing that, hey, if you go all in on this thing and it fails, you have zero. Whereas if this guy loses $100,000, he still has millions, almost $10 million, right? So he's doing just fine. You got to remember that, right? Percentages are more important than the dollar amount. I promise you that. There's a whole bunch of information. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of a way to better vet different business opportunities, different cryptos you're interested in. And if you're wanting to know a little bit perspective on certain different aspects of certain different cryptos, hey, type them into the comments, right? Ask me a few questions. Let's kind of dig into, hey, what is your goal? What is the crypto that you want to be investing in? And let's see if we can connect a couple of dots for you to help you become a little bit smarter, build that knowledge base, ultimately reduce that risk, and then, hey, build that wealth so that you one day are that guy with all that money. All right, we'll see you guys next time.